Gunfire erupts in the stairwell of an inner-city apartment building.
When the smoke clears, a 37-year-old police officer is dead, another officer and suspect shot.
We have team coverage of this tragic shooting tonight, beginning with Richard Scher, who reports on what went down early this morning in West Baltimore.
Police officers had answered two other suspected drug calls to 1502 Pennsylvania Avenue earlier this morning. Both were unfounded. The third call came at 3:30. William Martin, a 10-year police veteran, went in the front. Two-year officer Herman Brooks covered the back. As Officer Martin got to the top of the stairs, he was shot twice in the left side of the head, once in the shoulder. He never regained consciousness. The alleged shooter, 20-year-old Sean Woodson, tried to run out the back, where he and Officer Brooks shot it out. Brooks was shot in the chest and knuckle, but was saved by his body armor. He's at home tonight. Woodson, shot in the pelvis, is stable at Sinai Hospital.
Officers were in the back and front, which is the normal thing, and then you go in, and if you don't see anything threatening, you certainly don't walk into every building with your weapon drawn.
Police found what they think is the murder weapon. A second suspect, 21-year-old Tavon Hall, is in jail tonight. Officer Martin, married and the father of two children, would have celebrated his 38th birthday on Friday. Tonight, Central District, where he worked, is draped in black.
Everyone in Central, to my knowledge, thought he was a great guy, good worker, and it's a sad thing.
It's just like a member of the family dying, and as it turns of all of us, it just makes us a little more aware that things happen so fast out here. It's just at their mercy almost. It's not fun.
Sean Woodson, the alleged triggerman, lives in the 4000 block Borman Avenue. His brother-in-law told me the family is shocked. Meanwhile, police spent most of this day in apartment B5, gathering more evidence.
At times, it's situations that you come across, yes, you can have fear. There is fear, but you got to do your job.
Another police officer told me that on this very dangerous job, it's very important to be as careful as possible, because every police officer likes to go home at night. Richard Scher, Channel 13 Eyewitness News on Pennsylvania Avenue.
Sean Woodson and Tavon Hall will be charged with Officer Martin's murder and the shooting of Officer Brooks. Mayor Schmoke is urging the state's attorney's office to seek the death penalty in this case. The man convicted of killing a police officer in Maryland can be sentenced to die in the gas chamber.
On death row right now is the man convicted of killing a police officer 4 years ago. In 1985, Officer Vincent Adolfo of the Eastern District was shot while pursuing a stolen car suspect. His murderer, Flint Gregory Hunt, is facing the death penalty. In 1984, Officer Marcellus Ward was killed during an undercover drug operation in West Baltimore. His murderer, LaSalle Simmons, was sentenced to life in prison. And now, Officer William J. Martin's name is added to that list. Ironically, the gun that killed Officer Martin, a .38 Colt Super Automatic, is legal under federal and state law. It is a weapon typically used in battle that found its way to another battleground. Team coverage reporter Lowell Dale has a report on the neighborhood where the tragic shooting took place.
Kids grow up fast on Pennsylvania Avenue. Here a family walk might mean watching a breeze blow past a police line. Some folks resent it when you call their street bad. They say it's what you make it.
I'm not afraid to go anywhere. I'm sure a lot of people around here aren't. I have nothing to fear from anyone.
He told me that as he stood facing the police line where two police were gunned down early this morning, one fatally. Something Al Whitley thinks wouldn't have happened if police had accepted life here as it is.
What, everybody's bad here?
No, but maybe they think that they can keep what happened across the street from happening by doing that.
No, they keep things like what happened across the street going when they start harassing people. Because nobody want to keep taking it, period.
What Whitley calls harassment, police say is keeping the streets safe, and that's a 24-hour job.
It's not the best, it's not the worst.
Mothers like Michelle Robinson have to take it when this street is part of their daily life.
I get the attitude that you have to work, it's not all staying home and doing nothing. We do different things to stay away from the area, just to keep them occupied, to let them know that life, because you live here, is not what you have to do.
Sometimes when Dr. Martin Boskin looks hard enough, he sees the Penn Avenue of the 1940s, one rich in culture, rich in friendship.
There's different class of people. There was quiet, there was peace, there was a lack of crime. I've actually seen murders with my own two eyes in my past. Thank God I'm still here.
Fear is pervasive on Pennsylvania Avenue. You can talk to business owners, parents, even patrons. They'll tell you that there are guns, there are drugs, and that you do worry about the quality of your kid's life here. But when the cameras go on, they have surprisingly little to say. They seem to say you can make it on Pennsylvania Avenue, but your chances are better with a low profile. Lowell Deo, Channel 13, Eyewitness News.
Officer Miller isn't the first policeman to be shot on Pennsylvania Avenue. In 1987, Officer Jason Smith was off duty and visiting a nightclub on the avenue when he was gunned down.
New evidence tonight that the people of Baltimore are ready to do their part in fighting crime. In August, hundreds of Baltimoreans participated in this year's National Night Out Against Crime by holding block parties, barbecues, and educational activities. Attendance was so strong, Baltimore ended up ranking 8th in the top 10 cities in the nation that participated. Tonight, city police mourn the loss of one of their own.
And an outraged Mayor Schmoke wants those who fired the fatal shots to pay the ultimate price.
Officer William Martin was shot and killed early this morning while answering a citizen's complaint of drugs being sold in one of the city's drug-free zones. It appears the officer was shot down in cold blood. Martin was shot in the head and shoulder as he reached the top of a flight of stairs leading into a Pennsylvania Avenue apartment complex. The highly decorated veteran of the force died this morning at the shock trauma unit. His partner, Officer Herman Brooks, was shot in the chest but was saved by his bulletproof vest. He was treated and released. Police are holding 2 suspects, Sean Woodson and Tavon Hall. Under Maryland law, both could face the death penalty if convicted in the shootings, and Mayor Schmoke feels it's justified.
From all the facts thus far, a cold-blooded and ruthless murder. And I don't feel any sympathy whatsoever for the guy that perpetrated this crime. I'm glad he was caught, and I just hope that the state's attorney seeks a maximum punishment for this act.
I hope, everything be cleared up.
Lisa Vines has 1 child by suspect Tavon Hall. She says he was with her until 1 this morning when he told her he was going home.
Tavon's not that kind of person that would go, shoot somebody for nothing over some stupid incident.
He's not no bad child. And people that know him know that he's not no bad child. My mother ain't raised none of us up, not like that anyway.
Leo Martin, father of the murdered officer, says his son had wanted to be a police officer all his life. Officer Martin received numerous medals for his work in drug-related crimes. Late tonight, police charged both suspects with first-degree murder.
Our team coverage of the police shootings continues tonight with a walk along the Central District beat where Officer Martin was killed. It is a beat filled with mean streets and cops who are looking over their shoulders a little more than usual tonight. The night team's Paula Tutman reports.
Charm City can be a tough city. There are subtle reminders that a fellow police officer has been shot and killed and another wounded. Black bands over badges and ribbons flying from squad cars tell the tale, but shock and sorrow can't show on the faces. This is how Officer Sprouse felt when he heard the news.
I wanted to take the TV and just throw it right through the window. It's upsetting because we're not out here to hurt people.
Sprouse has been a street cop 15 years. He's seen others fall. He says it hurts, but it doesn't stop him.
We're all professionals. I'm pretty sure anybody would say, well, we've got a job to do. Somebody has to be out there on the street. We just can't park the cars and say, I'm not going out today.
Tony, this was in his truck?
His colleagues call him Ox. Much of his time is spent answering routine calls, but he knows a routine pat-down can be fatal. After his second call involving more than 3 cars and a paddy wagon in 15 minutes, he says,
and when something like this happens, it makes you sorry that it did happen, but then it also makes you wake up and realize that it can happen at any time.
Does it ever make you wake up and say, I don't want to come back? I don't want to do this?
Never.
Police say every night's like tonight. The fact that one of their brethren went down early in the morning is something that gets put in the back of their minds as soon as the call comes through. They say they're out here. They know what they have to do, and they have to watch out for each other, because it's obvious. No one else will. For the night team, Paula Tutman, Channel 13, Eyewitness News.
And police say they will be taking extra precautions in the Central District this week with patrol cars backing each other up on routine calls. Early this evening, another Baltimore policeman was fired at. This time, the officer escaped injury. Police say Officer Gary Lee Brown was investigating a robbery at the Kid City store in the Waverly Shopping Center when a suspect opened fire. The suspect, 25-year-old Donald Patrick Stokes, fled, and the chase ended when Officer Brown shot him in the arm. Stokes is in serious condition at Union Memorial Hospital. Police say there were 2 previous warrants issued on Stokes, one for robbery and another